Hello from Spiritual Seeds, the 28th Sunday in Ordinary Time. You may hear a problem with the audio, maybe a bit of echo, because the battery doesn't work and I don't know how to repair it. But I hope this is not an obstacle. So I'm going to proclaim the Gospel as usual and then try to break it into seeds for your life. From the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus said to the chief priests and elders of the people, "The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who gave a feast for his son's wedding. He sent his servants to call those who had been invited, but they would not come. Next he sent some more servants. 'Tell those who have been invited,' he said, 'that I have my banquet all prepared. My oxen and fattened cattle have been slaughtered. Everything is ready. Come to the wedding.' But they were not interested. One went off to his farm, another to his business, and the rest seized his servants, maltreated them, and killed them. The king was furious. He dispatched his troops, destroyed those murderers, burned their town. Then he said to his servants, 'The wedding is ready, but as those who were invited proved to be unworthy, go to the crossroads in the town and invite everyone you can find to the wedding.' So the servants went out onto the roads and collected together everyone they could find, bad and good alike. And the wedding hall was filled with guests. When the king came to look at the guests, he noticed one man who was not wearing a wedding garment and said to him, 'How did you get in here, my friend, without a wedding garment?' And the man was silent. Then the king said to the attendants, 'Bind him, hand and foot, and throw him out into the dark, where there will be weeping and grinding of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen.'" The Gospel of the Lord. So I hope the sound somehow works to the extent that you can receive really what I want to give you. You understand this beautiful image of the Gospel, this image of a king who has a son, the bridegroom, and who calls us into the wedding hall. And the wedding hall is not like a reception, when people eat their finger food or they speak with their friends. No, the wedding hall is a place of great intimacy. It means to eat at the table of the king, to sit next to the bridegroom, to be very intimate with him. In the Middle East, they don't sit with big chairs with 2 meters aside or with fantastic cutlery. They eat very close, one to the other, touching the food of the other, eating from the same dish. That means a deep, deep intimacy with the bridegroom in the house of the king. All this is offered to you and to me and to these people. But you heard it. There are 2 kinds of people who in the end don't eat the food of the king. They don't share his nature. They don't share his life. Why? Who are these people? The first bunch of people, the first bunch of guests, you understand that these are the close friends of the king. The first people to be invited were the people near the king, close to the king. And this is why these two people emerge, the farmer and the tradesman. These were the farmer and the tradesman of the king. The farmer and the tradesman, or the tradeswoman, every day they got up very early, they went to the farm, they went to the market, and they did all they could, sowing, gathering, reaping, trading, negotiating for the king, to serve the king, to be for him. And at one point the king said, "Very good. Now I want you to come inside, not to be in the field and on the market square. Come inside the house. Come near me. Sit at my table. Eat my food. Stay next to my son. Everything is ready." And they, says Matthew, they were not interested. What does it mean? This is the only time that this verb, to be not interested, appears in the whole four Gospels. Only here in Matthew. And it's a Greek verb, of course. It begins with the alpha, and the alpha is privative, is negative, means to not to. And then the verb is meleo. Meleo is a very, very particular verb that has to do with the heart, with the affection, with the care, with the concern of a person. And he said that these people did not understood the value of the offer. They did not have that as a concern. The heart didn't see the offer of God, didn't understand, didn't see and perceive the goodness of the offer, the beauty of what was offered to them. And they refused to enter. And they lose everything. Because they did not want to change. And this can happen to you and to me. We can do many, many things. In the farm, a lot of work for the church, for your family. In the marketplace, for the good of the others. And at one point the king says, "Come inside the house. Eat my food." And we say, "No. I want to be in the farm, I want to be in the market. I don't want to risk. I don't want to enter what I do not know. I don't want to enter this new step. I don't want to pass over." And they lose everything because of fear. The fear to change. The second bunch of people. These people, you understand, they are not the close friends of the king. These are the people, says the Gospel, at the end roads of the town. That is, people not known to the king. People maybe outside the kingdom. And they come in. And the king enters, looks at them, and then he sees one person without a wedding garment. And this guy is thrown out. Why? What does it mean? What is this wedding garment that somehow makes it possible for me to be with the king, to be part of his kingdom? What is the wedding garment? I tell you, first of all, what it is not. It's not your good actions or my good actions. It is not. Because Matthew says that in the wedding hall, there were good and bad alike. And the noun he uses about bad has the same root as pornia. That is very bad. The wedding garment is not a pure, stainless, immaculate garment, because if that were the case, I and you would never enter the kingdom. Never. Never. What is the wedding garment? That this man, this woman, doesn't want to wear, doesn't want to take. The wedding garment, said Cardinal Newman, his feast was a couple of days ago, he said this: the wedding garment is the garment of the Christian battle. Is the garment that we wear when we enter every single day into the Christian fight, in the battleground. Is not is a garment full of holes, full of stains, full of wrath, full of sins, the sins that I committed this week, the sins that I forgave this week. Is the garment of my imperfections, the garment of my failures, the garment of my faults. Is the garment of the battle, is the garment of my suffering, of my purifications, of my engaging into the battle. Is the garment of faith. And that garment is not immaculate. It carries a lot of sinfulness, a lot of purification, a lot of failures. But that is the garment. That is what this man didn't want to change. He didn't want to take on his own garment. He didn't want to engage every single day into the battle. Because maybe, I don't know, maybe you, like him, you don't want to accept your own failures. You don't want to accept that we fall, that we can go to confession, that we can be renewed. Our entering the kingdom, our holiness, it's through our own sinfulness. Holiness, the kingdom, it's a Passover, it's a purification, it's a transit, it's a journey of faith through our own sinfulness and poverty and brokenness. These are the holy ones. These are the people who sit at the kingdom, the people who are ready to change, ready to risk for the higher gifts, said Newman, and are the people who are ready to accept the fight and to accept to fall and to stand up, to fall and to stand up. This is the garment. Let us receive it. Let us receive the grace to change and the grace to fall and stand up. This is what will make us, will make me, and will make you, and I assure you, holy. Let us see each other next week.